this is clearly not the ideal situation for you and the team to be put in, but it's like that's going on with all the teams in the league. Is how are you digesting, processing this, and knowing that in about an hour and a half or so you're going to have to lead the team as the head coach?
I think it's just one of those things in the league. Everyone's kind of going through the same thing. I think we had a slogan as far as last year, going back to last year, was just navigating uncertainty. And here we are, so you kind of get lost in like the task at hand, to be honest with you. You don't really have time to worry about it's unnatural or this or that. You just got a job to do. And that's kind of the approach that I think we've all taken.
Curious in terms of just when you found out about coaching DeAndre, it seemed like coaching early this morning, but DeAndre, was that like during the last couple hours?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I talked to coach this morning, and then, we've been getting information on the guys, throughout.
Yeah, and then we want to start in place of DeAndre and Jay.
We're still talking about it. We'll see, but regardless of who starts, I told the guys this. Everyone's going to have to step up. Everyone's got to kind of have each other's backs. And, luckily that's been a strength of ours with this program. We're really team, centric, and I think our guys know that. And so, looking forward to seeing everybody rally around each other.
And you obviously were dealing with this earlier when you were out, and just taking anything from that experience into this at all, just to maybe you and Monty talked a lot, taking the same approach.
I told him he'll be yelling at his TV like I was when I was out, but it's weird. You're sitting at home. He's a guy who's battled through everything as a player and as a coach, and I don't think has ever missed a game or something, sickness wise. But it'll be tough on him. But at the same time, he's been great with me as far as having confidence, in me. But again, it's really not about me per se. It's about our guys, and I'll just try to steer him the best I can. And he'll be able to give his input, whether it be, phone calls, text, Zoom, all the technology that we're all used to nowadays. So he'll be very much a part of this.
Coach, we know how Monty can be afraid to be too hands-on in certain situations. So I can't imagine what he's going through a situation like this. Can you just give a little bit of background with the conversations you guys had leading up to the game tonight, is how much he's giving input, but at the same time not trying to be too hands-on?
Yeah, I think what you just said summarized it pretty well. I was kind of blown away, to be honest with you, at how much he was kind of handing me the keys, so to speak, which was a huge confidence, booster for me just to know that a coach of his stature trusts me to be able to lead the group. And at the same time, being there for me and for our staff. He was joining us on the call this morning and so forth. So he's been great, and as you guys know him well, I don't think anyone is surprised by that.
How much does it help to have a voice like Chris still around with uncertainty like this?
A lot. Yeah, for a situation that I'm personally getting put in, to have a guy like Chris, being able to be right there with me is, that's big, obviously. I don't know if there's another guy in the league that you would want, if you're a guy like me, to have like Chris. So, he's been great second he got here last year, and I don't think that'll be any different.
Just to follow that up, I've noticed during timeouts you and Chris talking quite a bit. I know he talks with everybody, but I just noticed in particular you and him. How much will that be key tonight, where you're like, you got familiar with that back and forth? With that, you'll see more of that or some of that tonight? Yeah,
I think so. He's, he sees the game obviously, so well, and different things. We're always talking in the timeouts, just little things that he sees that maybe we can implement, or maybe it's something I see. And that's what I love about him and really all of our guys. Very coachable group, so they just want to win. So if you see something they feel like can give them an advantage, they're all ears. So I expect him and I to have a lot of dialogue tonight.
Coming into the season and just knowing the way you guys try, plan, and prepare for all the unknowns that you possibly can, understanding that the virus wasn't going away. Had you guys talked earlier in the season, before the season took off, about, hey, if this happens, kind of the protocols that you and the staff would follow?
We talked about it last year, to be honest with you. It never reared its head. You know, it was funny when Monty got thrown out the one game last year and Willie took over. That was a learning lesson, I think, for our staff, just in terms of, you know, we regrouped quickly at halftime, you know, stuff that you kind of get accustomed to Monty doing. You know, he's not there to do it, so someone has to step in and fill in those gaps. So that was a good learning lesson for us. But I think, you know, quietly, in my own mind, you know, you see what's going on in the league, you know, and you just start kind of mentally preparing for, you know, this day. Yeah, you know what I mean? And you know, luckily for me, I've worked for great head coaches, and Monty especially has allowed me to think like a head coach, even though, you know, he's there. So I think I'll be able to rely on that as it relates to filling in to your question.
You obviously been head coach before. In terms of how much you pull from that experience of, hey, I've been in charge. How much you pull from that, but not just by this game, but a couple games at least after.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. You know, thankfully, I had those experiences, and so I'll certainly rely on that. And once you get going, you know, the ball gets tipped up, you just get right into game mode. You're not even thinking about what's going on. You just, again, you're in work mode at that point. But you know, what's funny is what's unique, I think, about this situation. It's not just, hey, you're the head coach, good luck. It's like, hey, you're the head coach, and by the way, like 2 starters are out, 1 you found out about shortly there. So, I mean, you'll think you'll enjoy this, Dwayne. You know, me and Brian Gates, both of us spent a long time in the minor leagues. This reminds me exactly of the minor leagues. Like, I had 3 of my best players called up within an hour of each other before a game before, you know, and we laugh about it, but you just, you know, those are good reference points. You know, you try to rely on some of the stuff there. And really what I learned in that is just keep it simple. You know, don't try to overthink it. Just rely on what you do and try to be great at that.
We'll finish with one on Zoom from Jim Conlon in Ireland.
Hi, Kevin. This is Jim Conlon here from RCB Radio Sport Ireland. Kevin, I saw a great picture of you there today in 2006, an Irish Super League quarter-final, Shamrock Rovers against UCC Demons. And just going back to that time, 16 years later, did you ever feel that you find yourself in the NBA from standing in that basketball court in Tala in Dublin, Ireland?
Tremendous reference point that no one other than me and you probably understand. But no, I never did. You know, I just think with me in basketball, man, I just love the game. I always loved it as a kid, as a teenager, as a college player, and I just loved playing. I loved being around the game, and you know, I would play or coach anywhere. And that game at that time in my life was just as important as, you know, game 6 of the finals from last year. When you're a competitor, you just want to be in the moment and play and compete. And I never really got caught up in the like, oh, I want to, you know, one day do this or one day do that. I just wanted to be around the game, and luckily was able to have a lot of opportunity kind of come my way. So no, I never thought about the NBA back in that quarterfinal against the Pat Price-led Demons. But here we are.
Thank you again.
All right, guys, appreciate it.